You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the Fighter's Voice. The Fighter's Voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz.
Oh, always.
And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Fresno, California, we're live here in Mad Production Studios. We got a great show for you tonight. First of all, I want to say, you know what? I hope everybody had a great, healthy Thanksgiving, and they were eating good, they were feeling good, and most of all, they were around family, friends, and loved ones. But, listen, everybody knows we have a big fight this Saturday. And what other to get somebody's inside, in-depth look of somebody that knows a lot about big fights. And I'm talking about Mr. Regis Prograis, who's a runner-up in the Super Series finals, who fought his ass off in a decision that could have went either way, and in my opinion, could have been called easily a draw or just a three-punch combination away from a victory. That's the way I saw the fight. That's the way I called it. That's the way I judged it. Nevertheless, I'm not a judge. But we got a great show for you tonight. And we're also going to talk about some MMA, and we're talking about Tito Ortiz making the long-awaited comeback on Combate Americas, taking on Alberto Del Rio.
El Patron.
El Patron. El Patron or Al Chingon?
El Patron.
Not Chingon?
No, that's Campbell.
That's Campbell, huh? That's Campbell. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you the 140-pound kingpin, the man who's afraid to call out, who's not, let me take that back. Let me take that shit back. Who's not afraid to call anybody out, who step in the ring with anybody, let hands go, lateral movement, effective aggressiveness, and most of all, a performer. Brings the performance, brings the thunder from down under. He doesn't care where you're at, he's going to bring it. Ladies and gentlemen, but I am shameful to say that he is a New Orleans Saints fan, but I am wearing his colors in behalf of our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Regis Rougarou. What's happening, Regis?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How's life treating you?
Man, everything is good, man. I can't complain. Everything is great. I can't complain about that.
Regis, sometimes I can go on, and sometimes I get a little excited. My mic a little bit echo. A little excited whenever I have a guest that is so down to earth as you are. I mean, the magnitude that you live in and the things that you're doing in the sport of boxing, and nevertheless, you always return a text. You never turn down an opportunity to be on the Fighter's Voice. And you were even repping the Fighter's Voice gear on one of your videos, man. I appreciate that, man.
No problem. No problem. Like I said, bro, people send me stuff all the time, bro. You send me something, I'll put it on. I can't plan an exact date when I'll put it on, but if I'll put it on eventually, and if somebody got a camera, then fuck it, then we'll do a video or something like that. That's how I am.
And I appreciate that, man. And I seen your whole family. You guys were rocking the New Orleans Saints, man. I mean, I know that's true to you, and that's your team, and I'm actually rocking the colors. I'm not rocking the Saints gear, but I'm rocking the black and the gold, man, just because I knew you were on the show.
Yeah. I feel you, bro.
But don't get upset when we take your coach from you next year.
The what?
Don't get upset when we
y'all trying to get Sean Payton? No, y'all can't do that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna snatch him up after this season. I got my man Mike Ruther right here, and he's rocking Raider Nation. It's kind of giving me a headache, but I feel and respect him. What's up, Mike?
Yeah.
What's up?
Regis, there's so many things I want to talk to you about. First of all, let's just dive right into it, man. You fought your ass off from round 1 all the way to round 12, man, and you left every single thing in the ring, and at the end of the day, you showed nothing but admiration, sportsmanship, and nothing but promise in that 140-pound division, which is fire right now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, break us down on that whole fight and leading up to it, because you, like you said, the minute they mentioned the UK, you ran down there.
Yeah, bro. I mean, of course, leading up to the fight, there was all kinds of things going on with the WBSS, and people were saying I was scared to go over, and I was ducking and all that stuff. I don't know if it was a tactic to just really amp me up to go over there or what, but looking back on it, a lot of people said, man, you should have never went over there. You should never did this. I would have got the decision if I would have came here. I mean, it's a he say, she say type of thing. It is what it is. I felt like I thought I won the fight. I think I did. I thought the fight was 7-5. just personally being in the fight. Now, I didn't look at the fight yet, and I still don't want to even look at the fight because I just don't want to even, be thinking about it and stuff like that right now. But, like I said, I thought I did enough to win the fight. But I know it's hard to get a decision over there and stuff like that. But I can't complain about the fight. It went how it was supposed to go, and after the fight, I said what I said. It is what it is. If you believe in like timing and people's time and stuff like that, I think that maybe right now it's just his time. My goal is to become undisputed, and I feel like one day I will become undisputed. Right now he has the Ali trophy, he has the ring belt. I'm happy. I'm actually happy for him. I'm not hating or nothing like that. I'm happy he has it, and that's cool. But my time, I think really, to be honest, I think my time is just starting. Like I'm only going to get way better from this fight, because I heard him a few times, and I had him, and I just didn't capitalize on it. So that's kind of my take on things.
Well, Regis, I want to ask you. I mean, since we're talking about that, what was working for you in that fight? I want to hear it from you. What was working for you? What was the game plan going in?
Man, look, for me, I never have a game plan going into a fight, and I do things because I can do a lot of different things inside the ring, and I know I can do a lot of different things inside the ring. So I just switch it up, So just going looking at the first couple of rounds, I boxed him. I was really boxing him. I was outboxing him, and I felt like it was easy. I remember he hit me with I think we started. I think then he brought it to me. He felt like he couldn't outbox me, so he brought it to me. He brought the fight to me, and I was just like, all right, fuck it, let's fight. So the middle rounds, we was getting into a fight, and I think it was working into his advantage. Because I don't know, he was a good inside fighter. He was smothering a lot of my punches, and he was leaning on me, and sometimes he was hitting me after the bell and stuff like that too. So, a lot of his tactics was kind of working when we was fighting it out. But for me, always since I started boxing, it always it been simple for me. If I hit you and I hurt you, and you hit me, you don't hurt me, I won the fight. But this time it wasn't the case. I hit him and I hurt him. I hurt him a couple of times, and and he still won, even though I still thought I won the fight, but he won the fight, because, and he hit me with his hardest shot, and he couldn't hurt me. That was the whole thing about it. I remember, I think maybe after the second or third round, I think he hit me with a hard body shot or something like that. And yeah, he hit me with a clean hook, a left hand, whatever it was. He hit me with a hard punch. And I went back to the corner, and I told my corner, I said, Bobby, he can't hurt me. He hit hard, don't get me wrong. He's a strong fighter, and he definitely hits hard, but he couldn't hurt me. I don't know why. Maybe it's my chin. Maybe, I don't know. But he just couldn't hurt me. And that's why, so, in the middle rounds, I gave up a lot of my middle rounds when I was just letting him hit me. And my thought process, when I was doing that, as the fight was going on, and my thought process when I was doing it was that he's gonna get tired. He's gonna wear out, and he's gonna get tired. That's why I kind of let him hit. And then sometimes when you constantly hitting on somebody as hard as you can, and they not going nowhere, mentally it'll distract you. So I thought that was gonna be the case with him. And at the same time, I really thought he was gonna wear me out. Same thing. If you hitting a heavy bag as hard as you can, you're gonna get tired. So I kind of felt like that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna not play a heavy bag or nothing, but I was slipping and rolling a little bit. But for the most part, I was letting him hit on me. And I thought that, it was going to wear him out. He was going to get tired in the middle rounds. But that was his plan to do that. So I think he was prepared to do that all night. And I don't think he was prepared to, box me from the outside, And then, of course, I went back to the outside boxing and stuff like that. And I had a lot of success doing that. In the last couple of rounds, I just picked it up on him. The last 2 or 3 rounds, I picked it up all the way. And, and yeah, I picked it up all the way. And I thought I did enough. I really thought I did enough to win the fight, but it wasn't. So, but like I said, I can't complain about it, man. I'm only gonna get better from this, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad it happened, and I'm not glad it happened, but I'm okay with it. I'm content with myself right now. I can't do nothing about it anyway, so there's nothing I can do.
I don't think he expected you to finish as strong as you did. He definitely wanted to be the bully in there. He definitely wanted to be the bully at the press conference. He definitely wanted to try to get in your head. But at the end of the day, you both let your hands go and you finished strong. Those championship rounds. Have you talked about it with anybody else since the fight? as you're doing
Yeah,
tonight?
I talked about it a couple of times. A couple of different people and stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely talked about it and stuff. And I actually got a real big interview. We kind of did. I'm putting it on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. So I get a lot of input from a lot of other people that was there with me. My friend, my daddy, they was there with me and stuff like that. So yeah, we talked about it and stuff like that. But the thing I haven't done yet is I didn't watch the fight. And I don't know. I just don't plan on watching it right now. I'm not really into watching the fight right now. It's just. I just don't want to get that mode right now because there's nothing you can do about it, So maybe, before I fight again when I'm in my next training camp, then I'll watch the fight, But right now I'm not even interested in watching the fight.
Mike, I know we talked about it leading up to the fight. We talked about it during the fight and when it was actually taking place. And as we're talking about it now, what was your whole take on that? And what was your whole thought process leading up to it and then afterwards?
I honestly thought Regis was going to knock him out. Taylor impressed me by being able to take some of those punches. But I did have it the same way Regis said it, 7-5. And as he said, he had him hurt, and he had him almost ready to go in those last couple rounds. It just didn't go that way. But I thought Regis won the fight. I mean, I told you that as well. Taylor did smother his punches, but his work to me, when you compared it to, it was obviously Regis was much more cleaner than what Josh's was.
Well, at the end of the day, if you look at both fighters, it says a statement in itself. Regis, I want to ask you this. After the fight, I mean, you showed sportsmanship like no other. I posted a picture of both of you guys, and I think I titled it Respect. At the end of the day, Respect. And that thing just blew up, man. I mean, you are a pioneer when it comes to that, as showing respect. I mean, we need more of that in boxing because at the end of the day, we both all got families to feed. We got 2 legs to continue to walk, and we're human beings at the end of the day. What did he say to you afterwards, off the record, like, hey, leading up this press conference was all talk, I respect you, and what advice did he give, or what did he say to you that just stood out to you?
Hold on, I'm doing something right. I'm going to tell, hold on.
Only on the Fighter's Voice. It's live, baby. Live.
All right, bro. I'll let you. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I'm in New Orleans right now. Go ahead and repeat the question. I think you said.
I said, what did he say to you after the fight? First of all, I complimented on you on the sportsmanship that you had and the class that you did show, and I posted a picture of both of you guys after the fight, and I titled it Respect, and it got a lot of likes. It just kind of blew up on my Instagram. What did he say to you that made an impact with you, as if to say, hey, I'm just a human being. At the end of the day, this is just our job.
I mean, it was just respect, bro. First off, we really respected each other. I was going into the fight. I respected him, and I know he respected me. We both champions. We both was undefeated champions at the time, and the top of our game, it was number 1 and number 2 in the world, and I still feel like I'm number 1 in the world. Even though he won, I still feel like I didn't lose the fight, But it was just respect. He was just like, damn, like you was way tougher than I thought. And I told him the same thing, man, because I to be honest, I really thought that I was gonna stop him. That's why I really didn't care about going to London, because I was like, bro, like I don't care about going to decision. I'm gonna stop him. That's what I thought. And then I hit him, and it was hurting him. Sometimes I buzzed him, and sometimes I wasn't. And he had a real good game plan, and I was like, bro, like and it was a great fight, and we're gonna do it again. And he was like, man, yeah, like all that was we had to kind of talk shit to each other and all because we fight each other. You can't be friends when you're about to fight somebody. You have to be enemies with them. You just have to be. That's just a rule. That's just a part of the game. It is what it is. So. And I was like, yeah, and then one day, we cool now, and I don't have no problem with him, and I don't think he has a problem with me. We cool, we cool now, and then I said, right now, yeah, we cool, but we'll be enemies again. We'll definitely be enemies again. One day we will fight again. We'll be enemies again. So, that's kind of what was said and stuff. And I talked to him and his daddy, his girlfriend and stuff, and they was just like, yeah, man, come. They was inviting me to Scotland and all. I mean, you know what, he was. And a lot of the people over there, like that was doing interviews and stuff, all the people that kind of knew him and always been knowing him for a while, most of them said that me and him are very, very similar people. And I can actually see it, too. Like, he kind of dangerous and stuff, and he's a real good fighter. But outside of that, you can tell he's, like, we're kind of similar people as far as, like, our mouths and how we talk and how our swag is. And on top of that, I know he likes to, like, do dangerous stuff like I do. He rides dirt bikes and all kinds of stuff like that. I do all kinds of crazy stuff, too. So
that's your rush.
A lot of people... Yeah, it's a rush, adrenaline junkie, so a lot of people over there, they were saying, the same thing about him. They were saying, y'all are very, very similar. Y'all don't know each other, but y'all are very similar. The people that was kind of our mutual friends and stuff like that. So, that was all. After the fight, it was just, it just was a lot of respect. It was just a lot of respect from each side, from both sides. It was respect from everybody, and that's all. And I congratulate him, and I told him, I want to see him. I'm still a fan of the sport. If I'm not a fighter, one day, I won't be a fighter no more, and I'm still gonna be a fan of the sport. And I want to see, him and Ramirez fight. And if they can't fight, if they can't get the deal done, then I'll step back in the picture. I still think it's the. I still feel like I'm the best in the world at 140. I don't think nothing has changed. Even though he won, I still feel like I'm better. It's just how it is. I think maybe like I said, I think maybe 1A, 1B. But I still feel like I'm the top in the world right now at 140.
Well, Regis, you didn't completely take a loss, my man, because that paycheck definitely is going to move you on to some great things where your son is not ever going to have to worry ever again, and is very well earned and deserved because you risk your life for those things. I follow you a lot, and I made a comment the other day. I think you guys were at a bowling. No, you guys were throwing darts. And I said, hey, I said, when are you going to come to Fresno? And I believe it was your wife. She goes, oh, we'll come to Fresno, but we're going to come over here and do this and this. And then you just you changed the subject a little bit. But I remember you were having a good time throwing darts, man. So who won that dart game?
When I was playing with, I forgot who won.
You were with some friends. You were with another couple. You were with some friends playing darts.
Yeah, it was me, my wife, and some friends and stuff like that. I think I lost the score, but I'm pretty sure I won. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't lose at too many things. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of good at almost everything I do. So, or at least I try. I try to be.
Mike, you're hearing the excitement in him. You're hearing the still the hunger in him, because I hear the hunger, and I know he felt the sting, but which is only going to turn to motivation. What do you think Regis goes?
Bro, I literally just left the gym, bro. Of course, the hunger's. I'm leaving the gym right now.
You know what? I saw that you were up like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you said late workout or something. You're out there hitting the heavy bag, which you got a little setup in your garage too.
Yeah, well, that was at the gym, but yeah, I got a heavy bag in my garage. That's in LA, but yeah, I'm in New Orleans right now.
Man, you just you're ready to step back in there. Any names thrown your way, or any thought process right now? Anything you want to just dump and just let us know what you're thinking?
I mean, I want to fight the best, bro. I want my, I want the belts. I want my belt. I definitely want my belts back. Of course, Josh Taylor rematch. But it probably doesn't have to be that soon. Let him, whatever he does, or Ramirez, or either Adrian Broner, Mario Barrios. He has a belt. The best out there in the division. I still feel like I'm the best in the division. I still want to keep proving it. So, right now, just it's whoever, man, whoever they throw at me. But, we'll see. But hopefully, eventually one day, I definitely want to get my rematch with Josh Taylor. I want that really bad one day, and I still want to fight Ramirez. So I hope and get if I can get the winner of the Ramirez and Taylor fight, that'll be perfect. But I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna fight. I want to see them two fight. I want to see who's gonna be undisputed. Ramirez has 2 belts. Taylor has 2 belts. And I'm, hopefully I get thrown back in that mix too, and pick up another belt and then fight somebody, and we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I kind of just sitting around and just training right now, and I let the management take care of all that stuff.
I was gonna say this, that going into that fight, I said to myself, and I think I shared it with you too, Mike. I said it when. I didn't say if. I said when Regis wins, that Ramirez fight is going to be so easy to make. Mm-hmm. I said if Josh Taylor pulls a rabbit out of his hat, which he did, he fought his ass off. that fight is going to take a while to materialize. Because they're going to play, okay, you come to London, no, you come to the States, and it's going to go back and forth. Now, with you, Regis, you would have said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's make this happen. It's either going to take place at New York City, MGM, or somewhere big.
Yeah.
Mike, when you hear that and you hear Regis, he has options. He still does. He's still a hot commodity. He's still a big name in the 140-pound division. If you were his manager, where would you guide him? Where would you go from here?
Honestly, whoever. I think he's. I still feel he's one of the best in the division, as he said, 1A, 1B, either way. Personally, I would love to see that Broner fight, but I don't think Broner will step anywhere near him. Honestly, just because it would be of people that have been champions recently, I would love to see him and Mo Hooker, depending on how Hooker looks in this fight.
I was about to say that right now. That would be, you just read my mind. That would be, I was about to lead up to that, but I wanted to kind of say that because, he's fighting soon.
Yeah, he's fighting December 20th. I would love to see him and Regis right there. That's a perfect way to get thrown right back into that the mix for the title. Maybe Jose and Josh get to throw it down, and then they fight the winner here. The last 4 champions of the division.
Regis, hearing that name, Maurice Hooker, is that somebody that you would like to share the ring with if it was guaranteed a title shot, say the winner?
Yeah, of course, if it guarantees a title shot, but I thought Maurice Hooker went up to 147.
No, he's going to stay at 140.
No. I thought that too, and we talked about that, and I asked him point blank on an interview, and he made it very crystal freaking clear. Because we said some stuff that honestly, and I normally don't say this on air, but we had to start that interview all over again. And we did. Yeah. And he said, no, that's all rumor. He said it on the interview. And actually, I'm going to post it within the next day or so. I just don't want to take anything away from the massive heavyweight title fight we got coming up, and we're going to talk about that right now. One thing I do want to add, though, Mr. Rick Merigian, just to let you know, he lost $100 on you. He bet $100 rooting for you, Regis. I just want you to know that. I'm sure you already know that.
Yeah, I actually saw it. I saw that.
Hey, Regis had a lot of people in Fresno betting on him. I know a lot of people that were betting on him, and they thought the same thing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people too, bro. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, you weren't going to get a fair shake out there, and I feel you won that fight, man, honestly.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I had they had a dude in England. I went to the club, and it was a lot of dudes. One dude bet like 10,000 pounds on me and stuff like that. So I went to the club after like a day or 2 days.
He said 10,000 pounds. He said pounds.
Like, bro, I bet 10,000 pounds on you. He was looking at how he was giving me a look. He was giving me the look like he wanted me to pay him back or something like that. He was trying to I was like, bro, like, I don't know what you want me to do, bro. I thought I won the fight, but I can't do nothing about this money.
Hey, man, he wanted you to pull a Nate Diaz, man, because somebody bet on. Well, I'll tell you a quick story.
Right.
I'll tell you a quick story. Somebody bet their rent on Nate Diaz, right, and they lost.
Yeah.
And he said, "Man, I lost my rent on you." And Nate Diaz actually went and took care of the rent for 2 months. So I think he wanted you to pull a Nate Diaz and pay his rent, man.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. Yeah, well, that's too bad. I wasn't doing that shit. That's too bad.
Yeah.
See, I'll give you a hug, bro, but that's as far as it goes, man. I ain't paying your shit back.
I'll shake you. I ain't even give you a hug. I'll shake your hand.
Not no 10,000 pounds, man.
Hey, he kept looking at you like, you gonna help me out here?
Yeah, how he was saying it was, it was out there. We was in the hood. We was in Bristol. That's called Bristol out there.
Yeah.
So people don't know that's the fucking hood out there. So we was in the hood and shit, and we went to the club, me and all my partners and shit. And I thought that I got one of my partners. He like my brother. How he is, he a real hothead. So he always on 10. He always trying to fight everybody about behind me and shit like that. He thought that's how I was gonna be in the club, but I got that every fucking body. I'm talking about all the people that was like, bro, like you the champ and you this and oh shit, bro, what you doing out here and all kinds of stuff like that, bro. They just showed me so much love and it was like, bro, I thought you won that fight, bro. Like, damn, how you lost that fight and stuff like that. And I was like, I thought I won, but I didn't get the shake, and I can't complain about it. It is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. So. But he was like, yeah, man, I bet 10,000 pounds on you. And he just kept saying it. How he was saying it, it was like he expected me to pay him back, or he expected me to do something to make it feel better. But it was like, bro, fuck, like I'm definitely more hurt than you are right now. Fuck that 10,000 pounds.
Hey, his wife probably whooped his ass after the fight and was like, you spent $10,000.
Oh man.
That's what it was. That's why he probably whooped his ass.
I wish someone had got. I want to see that look. What does that look like, man? I mean, is he just eyeballing you? Is it a look of being all we thou or what?
It's just a look that somebody expects something from you. You know, I get it a lot, believe me. So it's just a look that somebody telling you something, and they kind of just expecting you to do something for them. Like they expecting it from you. That's the look.
It's like one of those kids when they say, "Oh, I like cookies too, huh?" And just stare at you.
Yeah, like where's my toy?
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you eating, like say you eating a bag of chips or something like that, and somebody don't want eggs, but they kind of just keep looking at you. That's the kind of look he gave.
Yeah, I like those Doritos. I eat those.
Oh man, that's good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. You know what? That's not going to go away. Because we're going to have to come up with that look. Anybody that can send us that, somebody send us a video or a picture of that look. The look that Regis is talking about, like they're all we thou, like pobrecito, like where's my toy, or where's my taquito or something, or why'd you just slap me in front of everybody? That look. You know what I mean? Oh, like, what does he expect Regis just to open up his wallet and say, okay, here, man, here's your 10 pounds,
$10,000,
my bad.
Here you go, bro.
Nah. He's trying to get in, you know what, he's trying to take away from your shoe game, Regis.
My shoe game, I ain't even worried about no shoes no more, bro. I'm off of that.
What I'm saying, he's trying to take money off your plate, my man. I mean, he just gave you that look.
Take money on, that's my kid's plate.
And I heard that. That's right.
Yeah, that's my kid's plate.
That's right. Now listen, I want to ask you this. Here's the big question right now. And before you answer prematurely, I want you to give it some thought. If that fight was to take place, because I know Jose Ramirez has a fight coming up, a mandatory. It's going to take place in China, Super Bowl weekend. That Saturday right before the Super Bowl, which is remarkable. It's going to be on live mainstream ESPN TV. And I know you're going to be watching that fight pretty close. Now, who do you have, Jose Ramirez or Josh Taylor, and why? If that fight takes place. You got Josh Taylor.
I got Josh Taylor. I do. You know, like, don't get me wrong. I respect Jose Ramirez. I think, and you know what? Rick Meridian has done a very, very good job with Jose Ramirez because, you know, he did get in a tournament, and, you know, he kept his belt and stuff like that. And the tournament was a very, very dangerous place for us to be. You know, like, as far as so early in our career, the tournament was just a really, really dangerous place to be. You know, so it's good. I think it is a good thing that, you know, he kept him out that tournament, you know, because he still has his belt and stuff like that. But, I mean, I just think Josh Taylor, bro, because it's about the competition you fought, the tough competition. Ramirez, don't get me wrong, he's good. You know, he's a champion. He's good. You don't be a champion for nothing, but, you know, Josh Taylor just fought the better competition. He's been in harder fights. I think he's more skillful, you know. So I think, you know, I think Josh Taylor, you know, now if Ramirez can pull that off, man, that'll be a great victory for him. But, you know, Josh Taylor can fight from the outside. He could definitely fight from the inside, as you've seen with me. You know, we just banged it out on the inside, and he's tough. You know, he has, you know, and one thing about him is his recuperative powers. Like, he can. I heard him a few times, bro, and like he just, you know, he took it. He was tough as fucking nails. You know, like I really thought that when I hit this little skinny, I was like, bro, when I hit this little skinny white boy, I'm gonna kill this dude. But that's what I was thinking the whole time, bro. When I hit this little skinny white boy, I'm gonna hurt him bad. And you know, it didn't happen. You know, so I take, you know, like I said, I take my head off. I take my head off to him.
Now, Reeves, will your opinion change? Let's say if Jose goes out there and dominates Postal the way Taylor really couldn't do it, would you think that would be a different fight then?
Good question.
I think, yeah, it'll always be a different fight then. But, you know, you only get judged on your last fight.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, if he goes out there, but at the same time, we gotta think, what does Postal have left?
That's true.
Like, I don't know. You know, it all depends, you know, because he's been beat, he's been dropped. But Postal always get dropped by everybody. He still gets back up and fight. But, you know, it all depends on, you know, what he has left in him. You know, I think, I know Postal is a little older, so
yeah,
I don't know, man. It depends. Like I said, it all depends on what he has left in the tank. I don't know if he still has, how much he has left in the tank. You know, Ramirez is kind of, he has a lot in the tank. He's reserved, you know, like that's the thing. You know, he's very reserved, and he has a lot in the tank. Postal has had a lot of tough, hard fights. So, you know, he's a little more spent than Ramirez. So it depends on, you know, that I think that'll be a good fight, but it all depends on what Postal has left in the tank.
How do you have that fight going?
Like I said, it all depends, man. I definitely give the edge to Ramirez, but it all depends on what Postal has left. If Postal can renew himself, he has definitely a big chance of just outboxing Ramirez, But like I said, it all depends. It all depends on what he has left in the tank. I personally, I don't know. I can't say if he has a lot left or a little left. I don't know, but I feel like Ramirez has, he has a lot. He definitely has a lot in the tank, So, Postal had way more harder fights than Ramirez. Well, more experienced people also. So, maybe the experience might play a difference, but like I said, it all depends. It all depends what he has left.
Remember, they used to train a lot together as well over their wild card, so they know each other pretty well as well.
No, they do. I'm going to ask you one more question on this topic, then I'm going to move on, Regis. If you had some advice to offer Ramirez, say the fight does take place with Taylor, if you had some advice to offer Ramirez, what would be the keys to victory for Jose to be victorious in that matchup if it does take place?
I think just do him, just do him, move your head and stuff like that, and just be him. Throw a lot of punches and try to overwhelm him, and I think that's what he's gonna do anyway. He's gonna try to overwhelm him and do that. But Postal, he's long, he's very long, he's rangy.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. That's the fight I'm talking about, and then I'm gonna move on from that. Yeah, how can Jose Ramirez be successful against Josh Taylor?
With his style, man, you know what? I think it'll be hard for him to beat Josh Taylor. Will it be successful? I think what I had success with was, first I fought him a lot, hit him with a lot of hard punches, and I took a lot of hard punches at the same time. That won't be I won't give him that advice though, because it didn't work for me. It worked, but it didn't. So you wouldn't want to do that and have a close fight with him. So, I think you would have to. What I did, I had success. I was boxing him, and I think Ramirez might potentially have to do the same thing. But Ramirez isn't as slick as I am, and he's not. I don't know how hard he hits. I can't say. Nobody can't say how much power anybody has until they get in the ring. But I think I got Josh. I hit him a few times that hurt him and stuff like that. Maybe if Ramirez can do that and keep punching. One thing I did wrong that I know that I should have did is I should have punched more. I should have definitely punched more punches. I should have never I was throwing one punch at a time, and somebody was saying it looked like you just wanted that one big punch. You wanted that one big lucky punch, and it just never came. And it wasn't the case, but at the same time, I think sometimes it was the case. Sometimes I just wanted to hit him with a big shot, but it wasn't the case the whole fight. But I think sometimes it was. Like some moment, I just instead of letting my hands go, instead of throwing my hands, I want to hit him with just one big punch, in which I should just throw a lot of punches in bunches, like some flurries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did want you to get your hands off, to let your hands go when I was watching.
Yeah, I should let my hands go. I definitely should let my hands go more. I know that. So I think Ramirez, he'll have to do that. He's a good volume puncher, so I think that he'll be good with that. But the thing, Josh said, he's strong. He's very strong. So I don't know. It'll be a good fight, man. I want to see it. I definitely want to see the fight and see who gets all the belts, and then I'll fight the winner.
There you go, man. I know leading up to the fight, I know Timothy Bradley picked you to win, and so did Andre Ward. Picked you to beat Josh Taylor leading up to that. So you had some big names and some people with experience that were pulling for you and thought that you would pull it off. Now, listen, this weekend we have a rematch, an immediate rematch. And nowadays in boxing, we don't always get that. That's rare. That's a throwback from the olden days. Now we get a rematch, and it's going to take place in Saudi Arabia, my man. And we're talking about, Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. What adjustments is Joshua going to make in this rematch? What advice would you give him? What do you think he needs to do to be victorious?
First off, bro, I was there in New York for the first fight, and it just looked like Andy Joshua was just too relaxed. You know, he was sitting on the ropes, and he just looked like he was just too relaxed for the fight. You know, it looked like a sparring day. You know, what we do in sparring days, it looked like that's how he was for a fight. Now, was he too relaxed or what? I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me. It just seemed like he was too relaxed, and you know, he maybe was overlooking Ruiz. Maybe that's the case. I don't really want to say that, but that is my opinion of it. But you know, I can't really speak on that. And definitely don't want to take nothing away from Ruiz and nothing like that. But I thought that, you know, he just looked too relaxed, like he wasn't even about to fight for a world heavyweight title. It looked like he was about to just get in the gym and go sparring or something like that. And you know, Ruiz had the style and Ruiz caught him. You know, so what do you have to do? He actually dropped Ruiz. Why? You know, just get back on your jab and stay long. But, you know, he got in, and Ruiz got in on him. He got the shorter arms and stuff like that. Ruiz got in, and he caught him. And, you know, shit, that was it. He got stopped.
That's the first fight. So this rematch, who do you have winning? Wait, first of all, hold that thought, Regis. Who do you have winning this fight, Mike, in this rematch? And what adjustments do you think Anthony Joshua needs to make?
I think Anthony Joshua should have fought somebody else first and then fought Ruiz. As he said, he looked too relaxed. And
well, the powers that be make it happen right away. I don't think he had an option. I don't think he had a choice.
Well, he asked for it, so he asked for the fight. So that's respect to him because he wants to race that. But as he said, he looked too relaxed. He looked real calm, and I think he got overconfident when he got that knockdown. He's used to knocking somebody down, and then that's it. And Andy's another beast, as he said. He's a smaller man, so he was able to get inside. And at the heavyweight division, I don't know anybody that's got the hand speed that Andy does. So once he hit him once, as if you've seen that show that one night on the Zone, he hit him once and then he hit him like 10, 12 more times just back to back to back. And
punches in volume.
It was me watching it. It was incredible to see how fast those hands were going off. And I think Andy's going to take him out a little sooner maybe this time. Now, this was a big question that I've had with a lot of people. If Joshua comes back and fights the same type of fight that he had the first time, he's getting knocked out.
No, he's not going to fight that.
If he's going to come back and fight to win for him, he's not going to worry about style points.
Regis, is that would you advise your fighter to step right back into the pocket and fight the same exact fight, and this time be mentally well prepared, or do you make the adjustment and fight a different fight? Not to cut you off, Mike.
No, I mean, you definitely, make the adjustment and fight a different type of fight. You would want to fight the same fight and have the same result. That wouldn't make no sense,
I'm saying that the confidence level that he has now, going into the fight, knowing the danger, sometimes it does a lot to you mentally, as expected. I believe he was surprised that fight. That's just my opinion. But this time, he knows exactly what he's stepping into. Do you see him wanting to possibly bang with him or boxing?
I think he can do both. You got 12 rounds. You can do a lot of different things in 12 rounds. That's a long time to go. You can do both. If you start out, maybe you start out boxing, or maybe you start out banging, and then you switch it up. And it depends what Andy Ruiz gives him. It depends on what he does. I think you can't never have just one game plan going into the fight. You definitely got to always have more things going on. So I think that he should switch things up, definitely switch things up. And then, if you feel like he can go bang it out with him, then, do that.
Mike, I'm not asking you to bet 10,000 pounds, right? But who are you putting your money on?
Oh, Ruiz. I have way more confidence in Ruiz in this fight than the first time.
And why is that? Is that the corner? Is that because of the confidence that he has now?
Confidence.
Because he's champion?
Confidence. He's still hungry because everybody, of course, questions what happened with Joshua. And I feel Joshua may be overthinking going into this fight. Now, as I said, if he tries to just box like the whole 12 rounds, this is what the question was is he going to become Klitschko 2.0? Jab, jab, hold, jab, jab, hold. I think eventually Andy will catch him with something.
That's my take.
And that's the question. This is what's going to happen. Joshua is a better technical boxer, and he's bigger. So if he uses his reach and everything, he should win. But Andy showed a lot in that last fight. He got up from a hard knockdown, knocked him back down within 20, 30 seconds, and then never let his foot off the gas pedal. So I would say Andy maybe in 5.
In 5 rounds. Well, Regis, I know that you're a historian when it comes to boxing, man. I mean, you do your homework. You don't just give answers. You give answers and you give an analogy and you describe your answers in the content. And I respect it because you're inside of the ropes. Now, I got to ask you about Jacobs and Chavez Jr. What's your take on that matchup, first of all?
Man, come on, man. Y'all can be serious, bro. Chavez Jr. not serious about nothing, bro. Jacobs all the way. Yeah, Chavez Jr. not serious about nothing, bro. Come on, man. He's not serious.
Hey, I ask the questions, man. I gotta ask this, man. And is that fight going? Is that fight going the distance?
I think he can go the distance. You know, I think Jacob's just gonna beat him up, probably just like Canelo did, just like Sergio Martinez did. You know, just kind of just beat up on him. He is still big and he's tough. He has that Mexican blood in him, just like his daddy. So he's tough and stuff. But I think Jacob's gonna beat him.
Okay, even though the rumors that he's been showing up to practice every day, he's on weight, he's on task. Freddie Roach doesn't really take back a lot of people, and there was a long conversation leading up to that. He is in camp at Wildcard Gym. That still doesn't mean anything to you or hold any water. You got Jacobs by unanimous decision or knockout?
Jacobs by unanimous decision.
With Chavez Jr., it's one of those, you have to show me for me to believe it.
Yeah,
he's at that point now. I'm not going to believe it until I see it in the ring live. Besides that, I'm not going to believe it.
Me and Chavez Jr., I'm at the poker table right now. I have a couple of chips here, and I got all my cards here. And this is probably the last time that I'm going to pull them all in and push them all in. I mean, you got to remember, I'm one of those faithful guys, but at the same time, I have to report who's out there and who's doing things. I don't see any flaws right now in Jacobs. He's a boxer, puncher. He can go 12 rounds. He has a chin, and he has decent power. When I say boxer, puncher, he can outbox you, or he can land one in the night. Regis, I want your take on this. You're a very smart man, intelligent man, okay? And you saw the Crusher in Canelo. What was your take on some of those punches the Crusher was displaying that night? I mean, the knockout was a knockout, but I'm talking about leading up to that. What was your take on the power shots that the Crusher attempted to throw, so to speak?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I didn't even watch the fight. I watched the knockout. That's it. Yeah, I didn't watch that fight.
Well,
you know, I still didn't even watch that fight. I just watched it. I watched the knockout. That was I watched when he stopped, and that was it. Yeah, Crusher. I mean, even going to that fight, I had Canelo winning. I think, you know, Kovalov, he don't got it no more. You know, sometimes you get to a certain point, that's it. Your body can't perform like that no more. You don't have it. You know, that you get too old and you can't perform at that high level. Don't get me wrong, he probably still is a very, very good fighter. But to perform at that level, the highest level in the world, you know, I just don't think he has it no more like that. You know, he's already been stopped, and he's getting older and stuff like that. And yet he's had hard fights, so I don't think he has it no more. Yeah, that's you know, and that's what I think. That's why he got stopped.
Mike, how'd you see that fight? And I know it was happened a while back.
I
have my take on that, but
it was. I seen it as every time he wanted to throw something strong, he would get countered and probably second guessed it. And I also think, honestly, the effect of coming from the last fight to this one did have an effect. There's no way to deny that. No matter who you are, you just fought a grueling 11 or 12 round fight 10 weeks before that.
Where does he go? Where does he go from here? Is that it for him?
At the top, yeah. I think so. I think whoever he fights at that weight, he could try to fight whoever, Beterbiev, Bivol, any one of those fighters. He could even fight Zurdo, and I think he'd probably get stopped by every one of them.
Where does Regis go from here?
Oh, Regis is still one of the top fighters in that division. That's not a question. I want to see him fight again, and hopefully it is against either the rematch or he gets Jose again. I mean, either or.
Regis just has that way of talking his way into a fight, of just being himself. People want a piece of him. They do. His name is still brought up in the top 5 of the top 3 in the 140-pound division. His name still gets brought up because what he brings, his followers, his tenacity, he's southpaw, and some people want to kick his ass or attempt to, and some people just want to be around him. It's like a contagious it's like that guy at the party. You want him there, and once he's there, okay, the party started already.
And it's his confidence level. I mean, if Regis was to tell me he's going to go try out for football and be a quarterback, I'd watch him because I think he could do it. He just has that type of confidence.
Southpaw quarterback. I can see that happen. I can see him like skinning a shark and stuff and doing the stuff that he does, Regis. So what else is new with you, Regis? I mean, you jumped off cliffs, you wrestle gators, swimming with sharks, and I mean, what are you doing next, man? I mean, you told me you live life to the fullest. You live every day like it could be your last day.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, bro. You know, right now I'm in New Orleans. Right now, my people just kind of, right now I'm in New Orleans. My people, I've been training every night, just chilling at home, and that's all. You know, not too much. My family was out here, my kids and stuff. My wife, they was out here for the holidays, and you know, now they went back. They're back in LA now, so I'm just out here for a little. I'm out here in New Orleans, spending time with my mom and my grandma, and my friends, and before I go, you know, I go back to Houston. Really, probably a couple of days, go train out there, and then I plan on probably going back to LA. And then they got the Olympic trials in Lake Charles, so I think that starts next week. So I'll be going to that, and that's kind of the main thing that I'm doing. You know, just that's all, chilling, living life. But just let y'all know, that's it for me. I gotta go. I gotta get out, and I gotta have some stuff right now. But thank y'all for having me, bro.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have you, man. And, you know, I'll pick your brain a little bit, you know, when we got some other names and events coming up. Always a class act, Regis. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Regis, Prograis, Rougarou, coming on the Fighter's Voice. Once again, he's also, I mean, becoming a regular on the show. And I appreciate the love and the respect you show for the show. Mike?
Yeah, take it easy, bro. And,
all right, man.
Yeah, take it easy and keep enjoying life, man.
That's it.
All right, bro. Thanks.
That's it. Mike, I hear him, and I heard him wearing down a little bit too, because it is a little different time slot over there.
Yeah, I think it's over there. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock already, right?
Yeah. And I do follow him. I was watching him, and he's a character, even when the camera's not on him. Yeah. And he had some live stream with his family, and I like to try to catch and try to read people. Yeah. And he's living life.
Yeah, I like watching fighters when they have those live streams when they're around their family more than their friends, because with their family, that's where they're going to be more so who they really are. And
a lot of his stuff was his opinion and what he truly thinks. And I truly believe that when he says, okay, I think Josh Taylor would be successful against Ramirez, he truly believes that. Yeah. He's just not saying that. He truly believes that. Yeah. Now, I have my belief in what I think.
I think Ramirez would win against Taylor, possibly stop, just because of what Regis said, that if he hurts him, he's not going to let up, you know. Example A, look at
let me ask you this, and I wasn't going to say this, but I already know the answer if I was to ask Regis, and I'm not talking about him or anything. He's on the air. I'm asking you, Mike, at 140 pounds right now, who is better than Jose Ramirez?
The only person I honestly would say that's there or could be is Regis. I still don't, as he said, I don't think Taylor's better than either one of them. Jose right now to me is number one, because he's still undefeated. He has both belts.
I think, honestly, Jose is the kingpin of 140 pounds. Not just what he brings. He has too many weapons, and he can easily box and be slick. He just chooses not to, because if it's not broken, why in the hell are you going to try to attempt to fix it?
And as Regis said, it goes off of style. So Regis had Josh hurt. He didn't follow up as he needed. And he knows that, and he knows if they were to fight again and he hurts him again, he stops him.
Okay, that happens, and Jose's in the fight. What do you think Robert Garcia is going to be screaming in Jose Ramirez's ear?
He's going to tell him exactly what he told him against Hooker. Don't respect him. Go in there and do what you got to do. Because right after he told him, you have this, don't respect him, Jose went out there and knocked him out.
I'm not just looking at Jose. I'm looking at the team that's surrounding him. I'm talking about
one of the best trainers in boxing and one of the best camps in boxing. He's got Virgil Ortiz, who probably could knock out a goat.
Who's actually supposed to be on the show next week, so I hope we can confirm that. I wanted to surprise people like that. But
he fights on the 13th, right?
Yeah.
And think about it. They iron sharpens iron. They go in there and they're the ones who want to spar each other. And Virgil Ortiz, I feel, could knock out anybody at his weight class and probably up to 2-3 weight classes. That kid hits hard. I mean, I've had people tell me the way when he hits, it sounds like a freaking car backfire. So I mean.
I'm talking about the whole team in general.
He's got people in there. You got former world champions not only training you, you got world champions in your camp.
Speed and agility. Yeah. He's on task with weight.
You got champs in your camp. You got Mikey Garcia, who's one of the best
great
fighters
management
in the world.
Team. He is very well taken care of. The only one that can beat Jose Ramirez at 140 pounds, the only one that can even come close is Jose Ramirez. And that's beating himself. And I don't see that happening right now. I
no,
see Jose being undisputed, super lightweight champion of the world at 140 pounds.
The only fighter I see, again, that would give him problems and would be a fight with him is Regis. I don't think Josh would. It's Styles, as he said.
I think Josh was, I mean, I think
he was given the fight. He didn't win the fight to me. And I think Regis, if Regis and Josh fought again, Regis would win. And then if he fought Jose, that's okay. It's 55-45 to me, man.
Jose's mandatory in China. We'll say he just fights his ass off. It's still not good enough to beat Jose Ramirez.
No.
It's not.
I don't think at any point. Maybe
his victory would be going the distance with Jose with a closed eye.
At that, Postal's greatest moment was beating Matisse. What was Matisse's greatest win?
I like the fact that it may not be his first choice, but he embraces the mandatory. He embraces the rules. He's embracing the way boxing is supposed to be. He
called for who he wanted to fight in Taylor. Didn't happen. He wasn't going to sit there and wait on
Maurice
Taylor.
Hooker too. He called him out too.
Oh yeah,
when that took place. And I want to say this about Maurice Hooker. I had the opportunity of meeting him. Super nice guy.
Oh, he's a good
super
dude,
nice guy. Great power team. Great PR person. And I don't know how the heck he makes 140 pounds. He is a big boy.
Yeah, he's a
but
big
when
dude.
I did ask him about, hey, so you're moving up to 147, we had to retake that because there was some other things that were said, and we did. But he said no. Let's make this clear. That is all rumor.
I think he was thinking about going to 147 with his previous team. He came to Bomac and he's staying at 140. So
that's a great team. Iron sharpens iron when you see everybody that's on that team.
Yeah, exactly. You got one of the best fighters in the world in Terrence Crawford. You're gonna take his advice.
I had my opinions about Terrence Crawford, and I will say this: he is one of the nicest people that you will ever meet.
And he's funny as hell.
That wasn't my encounter the last time in Fresno, and I get it because you have media out there that they continue to be, and that was going to be one of my topics. I call them selfie kings.
Oh, yeah.
And I call them selfie queens. When you deal with them over and over and over again, when you have somebody that really wants to do a story on you, you tend to be tentative. It's just like that beautiful woman that goes to the gym. She doesn't say hi to anybody because she's tired of these freaking dogs and people coming up to her and she just wants to work out. So when you see a media person that really wants to interview you at this time, I'm tired of the media king. I'm sorry, the selfie kings. I call them selfie kings. And this is a whole new topic we're going to talk about, Mike. I don't want to say vent, but I'm going to release it a little bit.
I know exactly.
There's selfie kings out there, man. I mean, they got 5 pictures of all these names out there. And not one content, not one interview, not one soundbite, not nothing but a picture of a selfie. What does that tell you? What type of news is that? Did he tell you who he wants to fight? Did he tell you I'm dropping down in weight? Did he tell you, oh, I would love to fight the winner of so-and-so? Or did you say, hey, smile for the camera? Yeah. There's a time and there's a place. Exactly. I get it. I love pictures too. But there's a time and there's a place. If you're going to sit there and have a media credential around your neck, you best come back with either some pictures, a story, a website, a YouTube, an Instagram, a soundbite, anything.
Something.
Not just freaking crumbs all over you, full of nachos on your sleeve, or full of perfume and your hair's all done, and you didn't get no content whatsoever. And then you got people busting their ass off that are hungry, trying to get that story, and they're denied.
Exactly. So,
anyways, I just had to say.
Oh no, I know how that is. I've dealt with that many times. I mean, there's people that are kings of certain pages. That's all they do. I won't say any names. But,
hey, if you get offended, I'm talking about you. Okay, plain and simple. Period. 2019, Mike. Man, this year has just ran by. It's went by. And 2020, man, I mean, I used to be one of those that say, hey, next year we're doing this. But the best silence is the best, is when you know you're going to do things. And I'm excited about the Fighter's Voice 2020.
Excited for 2020, period.
I really am. Yeah, that too. These fights materializing in both MMA and boxing. Yeah. And
the year's going to start off on fire.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is. It's ending with fire, and it's going to start on fire. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait.
And just Regis being himself. You can't ask for anything else.
Exactly.
I mean, he's being himself. He's taking the interview while he's still a father, while he's still a husband, while he's still had that competitive juices in him. And the man's yawning on the interview, and he's keeping it real. I'll take that all day long because that's a real interview. That's who he is.
How you said, he just got out of training right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably on his way home trying to just rest up, and he took time to make sure he got the call.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, though. look for 2020. Look for this young phenom. Look for King Nation, 209, the Prince of 209. Call him what you will, but Gabriel Flores Jr., 2020 is going to shock the world. You've heard it first here on The Fighter's Voice. He is going to shock the world, and he's going to shock the world by opportunity coming his way. He's going to capitalize on that opportunity and put the naysayers as if to say, hey, I am who I say I am. I do my talking in the ring. Plain and simple, period. And his father, man, there's not a book that's not read. There's not a contract that's not read 3 different times in Chinese, Pig Latin, Korean, gangbang language, whatever slang it or whatever. I mean, he'll read the contract with chorizo on the page, but he wants to make sure that it's legitimate, and he watches every single thing about their whole camp, about every single thing that takes place. He is on it, and then some. He said it best. He said, Richard, I'm obsessed with this. This is what I love. This is my life, and this is what I do. And I see some big things coming Gabriel's way. I'm excited.
It's going to be a big year for him, yeah.
I'm excited.
This is, like I said, there's going to be so many fighters, as we're seeing right now at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Teofimo Lopez is getting his title shot. Next year, I think
that is going to be an interesting fight.
I can't wait for that fight.
That is going to be an interesting fight. Hell, the main event. I want to see that fight.
I want to see all the fights, but I think that one's probably got me more, because I think Crawford's going to eventually stop or win by decision clear. But
that guy stands right in front of Crawford. That fight's going 5 rounds.
Yeah.
That's made to order for Crawford. And no offense against Crawford, man. I mean, that guy stands. That's a mandatory. You got to take it. He's flat-footed. He's right in front of Crawford, and he's going to go to sleep.
Yeah. But Lopez and Coleman. Oh man, that's 2 power punchers.
Top Rank's doing big things, man. They make things happen.
And then look at the unification.
Oh wait, hold on. A big shout out to Brad Goodman. I mean, he just looks like a freaking genius. You had no card. You had no main event. You put one together. You flip-flop things, and what do you get? You get one hell of a fight. Which in my opinion, but I'm not a fighter, I think it will stop a little too soon. I think he deserved the opportunity, but I'd rather have it
safe.
Exactly. I'd rather have it safe. But you know what? He moved up and he fought.
And he had Valdez hurt, man. And
those are the dangerous fights. I don't care what anybody says. Those last-minute guys, especially when they're in training and they're ready.
And they have nothing to lose.
No. Every single thing to gain.
Yeah, that was a good fight. And I think at that point of the fight, because there were 7 seconds, it's like, come on, let the kid finish around and let's see what happens. But what we've had this year, I understand, because he did take some really, really solid shots in that round, and it was kind of like, all right, man. So, I mean, but it was a good fight, and Valdez showed heart, man. That's something you gotta always see there.
Who do you have winning between Tito Ortiz and Alberto Del Rio? And it's easy to say, okay, Ortiz, but you can't dismiss this man. Got himself in fighting shape. Yes, he's a WWE superstar. He's legendary from a family, but he's been in the ring, in the cage, and he's let them hands go. So any man with a 200-pound punch has a shot.
Exactly, and it's not like he lost every fight he ever had in MMA. Yeah, it's been 10, 12 years or so, but he's done it before. He's been in the ring before, and he's training with the superstar team there. I mean, you got Ryan Bader, who's one of the best fighters in the world.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
hell yeah.
Combata's
taking over, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They are. And, they're bringing MMA with everywhere. A twist, with swag. It's becoming entertainment. It's becoming a show, and you got to be there, man.
Yeah. And just a heads up, or just a thank you, Mike and Campbell. Yes, we will be there in Puerto Rico with you guys. I will be there. I already got everything booked, so thank you. So I will be there for the Puerto Rico show.
Well, damn, I want to thank him too, homie. Shit. Aframowitz, I want to thank you too.
Well, he gave me the heads up a little early, so I was
started saving.
Yeah, I put that to the side, and as soon as I told the lady, I was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Puerto? What day?" It wasn't for what. It was what day.
There you go.
Yeah,
man.
We'll be there, and that's going to be a great event. Campbell talked to me.
Well, don't come back with any damn selfies. Come back with some content.
Come back with some
sound bites.
They're going to have one of the best female fighters of all time.
My whole thing is, if you're going to send me a picture of you and other people, get a freaking. You're right next to that person. Ask them a question.
My thing is,
not you personally, but I'm like, come on, man.
Oscar Valdez, when he had the fight in L.A. with Squad Quigg.
Yeah.
His manager Frank, who's a real good friend of mine, told me.
I saw your ass in the rain getting sound bites. I saw you there.
And he told me, do you want to go do an interview with Oscar right now, or do you want to go back? And I told him, I was like, you know what, dude, let him go. And Oscar thanked me because we had talked maybe a few weeks before that, and he's like, thank you, bro. I was like, dude, at that point, I don't want to take a picture with you up close. You need to go to the hospital. Go get this shit checked.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, I saw you underneath the tent.
And he's a good dude, man. So, yeah, I mean, I've done that stuff before, but I'm not going to take a picture with someone just randomly like, oh, hey, bro, hold on.
Hey, man, well, let me okay, nothing against pictures, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're of your media and you get a credential around your neck and all you have to offer is freaking selfies, come on, man.
At least get the interview first, and then, yeah, if you want to put the picture up after, cool. But get something done.
Come on.
Don't just sit there in front of the ring or have somebody
I'm
take a
not
picture of
hating.
you.
Facts are facts. At the end of the day, where's your story? And if there's not a story, create one. And if you can't create one, then make one. And if you can't make one, then be the story.
I'll put it this way. There was one person recently who's always on Instagram or whatever. There was 10 pictures on this post. All of that person ringside. No, all of that person ringside.
Yeah.
Not one of the fights. Not one fight. There was 9 fights, but there was all pictures of this person. That's all I'm going to say. I'll be respectful, man. But I know most people that watch this know who I'm talking about. And that's all.
I don't know. There's a lot of them out there. Well, I was talking to my boy Lalo today, man.
It was a recent one.
I was talking to my boy Lalo today, and he sounded like he just woke up. But nevertheless, because he works his ass off, he does security at night. And he was telling me about some big things he got coming up, man. And I want to spill, but I can't dump on Lalo. He got some good things going on, man. And that following he has, I can't hate on it. I mean, he's out there, he's grinding, he's doing it. He has that connection. So he's out there making it happen. I talked to Luca today. Matter of fact, we're going to have one of his fighters come on the show. It's going to be Lukey.
Yeah.
Luke, well, I call him Luca. And, you know, I call him a lot of things, man. One thing I will call him is loyal.
Yeah, he's loyal, and you know what? He stirs a part over there on Twitter, man. I love
him on Twitter.
I love when he puts something up.
We were just talking about that. I said, I respect the stuff that you write on Twitter because you don't care who you offend. You don't care to candy coat. When you see it, you call it, and that shit makes sense.
And the thing is that a lot of times he's not saying this is how it is. He's just asking, how do you see it? And people take it like, oh, my God, can you believe it? I mean, there's times where he just put, and it was a legit question when he said Adrian Broner at his peak, do you think he could have beat Hall of Famers? And it was like, and then he thought about it. Well, you know what? At his peak, damn, you know, I mean, I was over here.
His peak, he got beat.
When he was at his peak, I was like, man, he could probably whoop these guys. I mean, he could probably take these guys out real quick. And hey, I mean, when he was at 135, 140, whatever, when he was throwing everything, his speed, his quickness, and his power, come on, man. And I mean, hey, it made sense because it's like, you know what? Yeah.
At that point, he was the second coming to Mayweather.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, it was legit what he asked. He wasn't saying, oh, you know, all time. He was saying at his peak, could he have beat some Hall of Fame fighters? And and that's another question like he asked about Wilder.
Yeah.
I think Wilder could knock out anybody in the history of boxing. And I'm not saying he'll beat them, but I think he has the power to knock out any. At
any given time, there's no man in the heavyweight division that Wilder touches and they don't go to sleep. Plain and simple, period.
And
he was always dangerous. He's one of those guys that can be behind the scorecard and has proven it over and over again. He has so much confidence in that right hand. It reminds me of when Tommy Hearns fought at middleweight and welterweight with that right hand. It was just lethal.
Exactly. And as he said, these fighters got to be perfect for 36 minutes. He only has to be perfect for 2 seconds.
You know what the genius part is? Well, not the genius part. The blessed part, he has not had hand problems.
Well, he did when he fought Chris.
Well, here's the thing. I'm talking about that freaking massive knuckle that's there. It's working for him.
Yeah, well, he did. Remember, he had broken his hand and he tore his bicep in that fight against Chris Arreola. But
you're right. You're right. Yeah. And Chris showed some wittiness in there, but nevertheless, it was just a matter of time. That's no knock against Chris either.
It was just at the time that Wilder was on the come up, and that's it.
And how many fights was that ago? That was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, and then think about it when that fight, when they had talked about originally going down with Chris and Deontay, I think Chris would have beat him back when the first time it was discussed. But
Deontay was still kind of green back then.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, as when it comes to Wilder, I mean, Fury's probably the only guy that I think can beat him. I remember that whole time with Joshua, when Joshua was going through his run and undefeated.
Yeah.
I got a lot of flack for Joshua will beat him. Yeah, no, Joshua's more skilled.
Yeah.
My question always was, what if Wilder lands? Because I think Wilder's going to land on whoever he fights. That's just the way it is. It's funny when people tell me he does the same thing. Okay, well, then how come no one stopped it yet? No one can stop that 1-2. It's the throwaway jab, and your guard comes down.
He's that wide receiver. If you don't want me celebrating, stop me from making touchdowns in the end zone.
You don't want me to do a touchdown dance, stop me. You don't want me to dunk on you, stop me. You don't want me to jump up and down, stop me. And that's what it is. He throw 1-2, and you're sleeping.
One guy that I'm hearing that is possibly not going to be stopped, but win this whole tournament at 141 pounds, and that's a hot division. We're talking about the Olympic trials. It's taking place in Louisiana, and I'm talking about Charlie Sheehy representing Team USA. In the division that he's in, there's fire in there. There's dogs in there. So Lukey has been doing some work with him, some video work with him, taking a likes to him, and he said, Richard, this is the guy. Trust me, there's a lot of guys out there, very talented guys. I'm not stepping on toes, but this is the guy. Trust me when I say that. And for him to co-sign a fighter, I trust his judgment. Not because, I like him because he wears Jordans, or I like him because he fights like my favorite fighter. He said, Richard, watch this guy.
Yeah, and then Lukey's everywhere. When you see him at amateur fights. You see him in the pro
I
fights.
want his freaking budget. I mean, he is everywhere. I mean, he's doing I was talking to him today, and he was wrapping up some deal with Everlast, doing some video work for them. And
he's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
And so he's one of the guys you could say, you know what?
You know what's cool, Lukey, is we talk like crazy on the phone. We're talking like me and you right here. When I see him at fights, we don't say a word to each other. He's working. I respect it. He's not sitting down taking freaking selfies. The man is working. He's studying. He's watching it, the fight. If you think he's just watching, enjoying it as a fan, that's input constantly.
Yeah, and that's how it's always been. It's funny when just to show how much he really knows.
Yeah.
2-3 years back, we were talking at a fight, and it was when Shakur Stevenson and Michael Conlon came out.
Okay.
I told him, I feel Stevenson's going to be there first. I feel Stevenson's better. And he said the exact same thing. And he said Conlon is a hyped-up fighter who's got skills, but he's not going to be on the pro level of Shakur. And
Lukey's pretty much on the mark all the time.
And look at where it's at now. Shakur is going to be unifying possibly.
Lukey's like my lifeline. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Next question. Is that your final answer? I got to go to my lifeline.
Yeah.
And I'll give him a call.
Yeah. And Lukey,
I'm not ashamed to say it because I'm not out as much as he is. I have a full-time job during the day. I'm not making excuses, but he is my lifeline. He is my connect. He is my guy that I trust.
Yeah. Lukey knows what he's talking about, and
I did tell him something that the Fighter's Voice was going to do in 2020, and he said, Richard, that would be an awesome show. I don't want to reveal it just yet, but I just feel that we'll keep it business and have a show, a certain guest coming in the studio.
Yeah, and he knows what he's talking about.
Now he knows what he's talking about.
And he says stuff to rile people up, but it's just, and a lot of times, as he says, it's just
he really don't care.
And it's him asking a question.
Yeah, no, he don't care. He's one of those guys that just don't go away.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's funny is that he would say certain things a couple years back, and people would, and then now I see these same questions being asked by other people.
He told me something, Mike, and I'll share it. I'll tell Lukey this too. He told me something about 3 years ago, and it irritated me. I was like, oh, I was this close, like, but he's I respect him. Yeah. I respect him. So I'm glad I didn't pop off or say something. He just says something to me, and I remember I called somebody. I said, you know what this fucking dude told? You know what this guy told me? And I told him, and I was going, what? But no, he knows his stuff, man.
Yeah,
and I'll tell him that too. I could say that all joking aside too, because he's Mr. Reliable and loyal to me. Anyways.
Yeah, and he's a smart dude, man. I respect Luke. He's a good dude.
I didn't expect that word to slip out, but it did. It's been one of those days, Mike.
Yeah. Oh no, I know.
It's been one of those days, but you know what? This is for the fans, the followers, and even the friends, and even the pretends, whatever you want to call yourself, man. But we got a great fight, and I will give you my take on the heavyweight division in the fight. I have Andy Ruiz winning, not because he's Hispanic, but because I believe he's going to win. I don't trust the corner of Anthony Joshua where they're going to make the adjustment. And even if they do, because their game plan is going to be to box right off the bat, but somewhere in the fight, they're going to have an exchange, and I believe that Andy's going to catch him, and Andy's going to have to probably go running after him, cut the ring off him and force him to bang. I can see him tying him up from the outside. If he does stand tall, he doesn't want to be in the outside. If he's from the outside, then he's fighting Joshua's fight.
Yep.
He definitely needs to get inside and bang.
And that's the way I see it. If it's outside, Joshua's going to win because he'll use his reach. He'll use everything.
He goes 12 rounds standing up. He's awarded the fight.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, period.
Yeah. And but see, that's the thing. People disrespect Joshua a lot. I have nothing but respect for the man.
Yeah.
He's a fighter at the end of the day. So if he gets caught with something,
I admire the fact that he wants to get back in there with this monster.
So close. And that's why I said, personally, I would have been like, you know what, go take another fight, get your confidence back, then come back to Andy. Mm-hmm. But, hey, respect to you saying, no, I want this back now.
Yeah.
Before this year's over, I want this now. So respect to him.
And all of Andy's interviews, they're all the same. Yeah. They're all the same. He's calm. He's relaxed. Yeah. He's just.
And you could see every time.
He just is.
And every time Anthony seems more and more pissed off. I've heard him. Oh, this time I'm gonna.
Oh, he lost it last time.
I'm gonna hurt this man. I'm gonna kill him. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're starting to get pissed off. Now you're starting to. Is he in your head and he hasn't even said nothing disrespectful? except for when they asked him if he thought he quit, and he said, "I feel he quit a little bit." That looked more like Anthony was pissed at his own people as opposed to Andy in that.
Okay, here's the thing, and I'm going to move on for this. And I got nothing against quitting, and y'all probably going to rough some
I don't think he quit.
feathers up. But sometimes you just got to say, hey, let's call it a day, because if he goes out on a shield, mentally and physically, he is destroyed.
Yeah.
You don't need those wars like Barrera took. You don't need those wars like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. took, like Johnny Tapia took. It doesn't... To be a hero or to be a tough guy, you don't got to take a pounding. You got to be smart and fight another day, and he is.
Yeah, and I don't think he quit. I honestly think, as Andy said, I think he didn't know 100% where he was at or what was going on at the moment. It was, to me, it looked more of, he was like,
well, shit, Andy hit his ass.
Yeah, and he was just like, where am I at, man? What's going on? And they were like, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, for what? Huh? Oh, and then like it hit him like, oh, that's it? Oh, because I thought that should have been stopped in the third when the ref said walk to me, and he pulled up his pants and took a step backwards.
Yeah.
But, hey, I mean, I don't think he quit.
Yeah.
I just think it was more of he didn't know where he was at, and when it was, okay, it's done, it was like, all right, I guess it's done.
Well, I got Andy Reis winning the fight.
I got him.
I TKO in the 9th. I do.
I think it's going to be earlier, just me personally, because I think Anthony...
I don't think he's going to sit there and bang with him. I really don't.
No, I don't think he won't.
There.
I don't think he will.
I
but
think Andy's going to have to go chasing after him.
But I think at some point, like we say, it's just like any other fighter that's got that warrior mentality. When they get hit, it's, okay, well, come here. You're not going to do it. And then that's what's going to happen. He's going to fall into it, and Andy's going to catch him.
And I have Tito winning in the second round.
I honestly don't know.
He's going to try to spend. He's going to try to spend Tito. He's going to try to make him work. He's actually going to be real elusive, real aggressive, and Tito's just going to attempt to shoot and work his way in with some kicks. And Tito's finding that he's going to be Tito's going to be Tito.
Yeah, Tito's going to. I think if once Tito gets him to the ground, that's probably it. That's just the way I see it. I haven't seen Tito fight.
Now,
if
anybody. Del Rio does win, that's a shock, and that's called for a rematch. And that's I think, and he's going to be a guest on the show tomorrow. He's supposed to call in sometime tomorrow, and he has all this news, press stuff, and a lot of things that are going on. And that's no disrespect to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, that's going to be. It's tough for me to call it. Tito should win.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen Tito in a real fight in over. I'm not going to no disrespect.
What about Chael?
Chael?
Yeah,
Chuck.
No, not Chuck.
I'm talking about fight, like a real
Chael,
fight.
Man, when Tito beat Chael.
Yeah, how long ago was that, though?
Oh, it don't matter, man.
I know, but I'm saying I haven't seen him in the
Chuck.
Well, I was like, that one with Chuck was, Tito was having a sparring session right there. But, I mean, and then Del Rio, I mean, I haven't seen him fight in a long time. But they're both in tremendous shape. They're both motivated. So I think it's going to be good as long as it lasts. But I do think just if Tito does get him to the ground, that's where it's going to be over. Tito's a ground and pound legend for a reason. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm excited to see it though. That whole card looks good. I've been telling Mike about it for a while. I like the card. I like the fights on the card, but you know, it's the interest of it. And the thing is, as Campbell said with CM Punk, how he came into MMA and got his ass kicked.
Oh, that's totally different.
It's that Alberto actually does have history at it, and he's not.
He has that pedigree too.
Yeah, and he's not coming in there as, oh, I'm gonna just come do this for the money. No, he's really
he shedded some weight, and he's out there working out. I mean, he's putting in the work.
He's in good shape, man. He's taking it serious. So I mean, it's interesting to me.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we have a show with my man ESCOVEDO. Be back in studio. Man. The fairgrounds. We got some fights coming up in the fairgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
I just
December,
started hearing about that. Yeah.
What, the 13th or this weekend?
No, I believe it's this weekend. Let me see right here.
This Saturday?
I believe so. Because in studio tomorrow we have Angel Lopez, and he's going to be fighting in that, gosh dang it, at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It's that gi.
Yeah.
Fight to win?
Yeah.
Fight to
win. I actually have a friend who does for Phagnasay.
Who's that promoter there? I wish they would reach out to me because I want to send somebody to cover it, man. But if I don't know about it, I can't cover it. Jeremy Luchau reached out to me today. He wants me to make some room. He has a fight the 14th. And, I'll be in Stockton, but nevertheless, I'm going to see if we have somebody down there that wants to cover it. And I'm already booked, but I'm going to try to make some moves for him.
Yeah.
Because, he's out there giving these kids an opportunity, and he's the only one doing it right now. And if I can make some moves and I can move some things around, I'll definitely do that. And then later on, we can talk business. Maybe you can comp a brother a room next time or something. Shoot. Right? If I'm going to go down there. But honestly, I don't need one. I'm not going to go down there. I plan on going to the Stockton, Combate Americas, and covering that event. Also, Gabriel Flores Sr. Yeah, we'll hook up that day, and you can show me around Stockton or show me some of your cooking skills, man, and we'll hook that up. Down to earth. Anything, Mike?
Nothing much. Just working. Keep it going.
Just keep it going.
Yeah,
man.
ready for this next year. As you know about my football team, we have our banquet this Sunday. So also to the high school team in Selma, congrats on Valley Champs going to Lancaster this Friday. Good luck out there. A lot of the families that their kids that I coach, that's their bigger brother or somebody out there. So good luck to all of them. And, hey, man, be ready for the fights this weekend. Honestly, fights start Thursday, and it goes all the way. You got
That's right.
You got UFC on Saturday as well, Overeem. You got ESPN, Showtime.
And you got the Dallas Cowboys who are about to beat the Chicago Bears Thursday.
I mean, that's not really a big. I mean, the Raiders beat the Chicago Bears.
Hey, man, we just need the W's right now, man. But I'll move on from this. No, and then Saturday, hey, I believe it starts, at 11 a.m.?
I've been hearing like
DAZN?
8 or 9.
No, please don't say that.
No. The main event's like 12-something. 12:30, 12:45, somewhere around there.
I did reach out to Andy just to let you know. So if he doesn't answer, I'm going to call. KP, where you at? I'll meet you at the studio. We're getting his ass on the show. So, but I know he's busy.
Yeah, I need to speak with Andy too. But yeah, I mean, I know he's busy. I'm not trying to bug him right now.
I don't want to be that speed bump either.
That's why let him do his thing. But I mean,
but I'm gonna hold him up on that promise.
Oh yeah, he's got to come out here after.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bring some of that Saudi Arabia money out here, Andy. Come on.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you the numbers later because I don't like putting people's stuff on blast. But he's doing really, really well.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be 2 Mexican out there. 3. His trainer, himself, and his mom. The only Mexicans that are going to be out there. No, I'm really serious. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I know, but well, whoever else is out there.
And Ali Setback, because he's Mexican now. If you watch that old bit, remember? I mean, they said he's Mexican because he's there.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gonna be good. Well, no. Canelo's gonna be out there.
Oh, that's right.
Canelo's gonna be out
he's
there.
He's gonna be bolder.
Yeah, and I think Mikey's probably going to be out there.
Yeah, Mikey will be out there. Yeah, Mikey was out there for the first one, too. They showed his expression once he scored that knockdown.
And there's been a lot of fighters that have been telling
I'm just messing around, man. I mean,
well, maybe they could stand by the judges to make sure it's even.
I'm just talking about that ticket for the flights and what have you. My gosh.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
But it's okay, man. It's okay. But hey, Rich Ortiz here. I'm your host. The co-host tonight is Mike Rutha. Hey, we made you smile. We had Regis Rougarou Prograis. He gave us his take on the Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua showdown, the rematch that takes place this Saturday, and also what advice he would offer Ramirez if he, in fact, gets that title shot with, that unification shot with Josh Taylor. And that'd be a good fight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Regardless. I say stuff about Taylor, no disrespect to him. He's a great fighter, and I just want to see the fight. Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah, but I respect where Jose's coming from. He's not even thinking about Taylor right now.
He's
all business right now.
All
business, man. All business. Hey, it's a wrap here, Fresno, California. As always, thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye.
Oh, man. No, Lukey was
never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.